We got another video on the Teggy today, and we're gonna be rebuilding the tranny in it. So first thing I'm gonna do is just pull the clutch fork out. Comes out pretty easy. It's just a little spring in there holding onto the ball, and pull the throw bearing as well. And from there, we also gonna have to pull this out. I believe this is the reverse gear. Holds it in place. All right, so just went ahead and pulled that bolt out. It's just a 14 millimeter. And we're also gonna have to pull this off, and these two right here. Now these have little springs and detent balls. So make sure when you pull them out to be careful not to lose those little balls in there, because they will shoot out with the spring. And then under here is a little circlip, something like that. You also gotta pull the circlip out. Careful with them. So you got the little spring and ball in there. See, the spring came out. I'll grab the ball, the magnet. Same with this one. They're both the same. Doesn't matter if you put one in the top, one in the bottom. Doesn't matter. Get the balls out. I'm just gonna tip it over a little bit. See, one of them fell out. All right, now I'm just gonna take a little pick, try and get it out. And there it is. As you can see, just a little ball. Just sit on top of the spring like this. All right, now I'm just gonna take just a regular 1/2-inch ratchet, just put it on there, shoot the mount. See, it's just a cap and a little circlip you gotta get out of there. Alright, so before we pull that snap ring out, I'm just gonna go ahead, pull all the bolts around, and then split the cases a little bit. It's not gonna come out because the ring, but I'm just gonna loosen it up, separate the seal. And it's just 12 millimeter bolts all the way around. All right, now I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the edge of this with a hammer slightly, just to break the seal. All right, so as you can see, broke the seal, so the cases are starting to split. Now we're gonna go ahead and try and get that snap ring, circlip, whatever you wanna call it, in there. Gotta open it up so that the bearing can drop down, and then we can pull the case out. I'm gonna go ahead and take all these bolts out as well. And all the bolts are the same size, doesn't matter where they go. Move them out of the way. All right, so as you can see, pop the snap ring out and the bearing just drops down into the case. Kind of see it down there, but it's not connected anymore, so now I can just pull up on the top half and it should just come right out. Alright, so as you can see, got the cases split now. All the gears, everything stays in this side. Falls out, and this is the other half. And just looking at it, this is my first look at it, there is a lot of metal. That looks like a bearing race. If you look, looks like a bearing and it blew up. Definitely not what I was hoping to see. I was hoping to just be a synchro, but there's just chunks of metal all in the tranny. So now I gotta figure out which bearing or what that was, which looking right here, That doesn't look good. As you can see, something has blown apart there. So, alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is just gonna pull the reverse fork off. It's just two 10mm bolts. You can see it just slides out this little pin here, and you can just pull it out. Just two 10mm. Set it off to the side. Alright, once you get the reverse shift fork out, I'm gonna go ahead and take the whole shift fork assembly out. And there's two 10mm bolts right here, and then there's one down in here. Pulls out like that, and as you can see, two of them the same size, and this one, which goes in the corner right here, this one is shorter than these two, and it's also gold, so you can remember that that they're different sizes. And then pretty much just grab this whole assembly and just pull up. It all comes out in like one big piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright. Got the one shaft out. Just gonna set it right here. Pull this one out. And already found our problem. So remember the shim here, two shims, sorry. This bearing completely blown out, so I was right about all that metal. It's a bearing race that exploded. And another sign I could see something wasn't right was because this is all covered in oil, the bell housing, the inside, and the rear main seal wasn't leaking, but the input shaft seal was, like a lot. You can tell how much oil's in here, and I'm guessing that's why the clutch started slipping as well. All that oil got on the clutch and pretty much ruined the clutch, because it wasn't terribly worn out where it would slip as bad as it was. Should have lasted a little bit longer. So as you can see, they're all bearing balls. So as you can see, this is the inner race of the bearing. This is the outer. It's pressed on there, but you can tell that it is no longer one piece. So basically the pieces of metal right here, kind of see how they're all semicircle shaped. Those hold down the little balls in the bearing, as you can see on this bearing, and something must have seized up, or something happened where it caused this to seize and exploded the bearing. So that would definitely probably ruin this input shaft seal. So that was definitely a problem. Alright, so I put the input shaft back in the tranny just to show you guys, but down here is third gear, up here's fourth, and then this one's fifth, I believe. Could be wrong. So as you can see, this has absolutely, has a little bit of play, nothing crazy. Then you go down here, pretty much just jiggle it all over the place. So definitely third gear is definitely blown out. Another thing is so this is the fifth gear shift fork. As you can see, it's normal to have a little wear on the edges. That's where it's supposed to ride against here, just like that. Rides against there. Shouldn't have any wear in here. but on the third and fourth gear shift fork, you can see it's shiny along the edge there. And same with the other side. You can see that it's been wearing. So basically, it's in here. It should not be riding down here and up there along this part. So that could mean that this shift fork is bent, and that will cause this synchro to wear out pretty quickly, as it's always going to be pushing down on it a little bit if it is bent. That bearing blowing up is probably the main reason that this synchro ended up blowing, just because it probably had a bunch of vibration shaking everything around and was probably hitting up against the shift fork, causing third gear to blow up. So I don't think this is bent. Doesn't look bent. Obviously it's hard to tell, but I know that the Honda trannies do have issues with bending shift forks when you're sending it, no clutch in it, stuff like that. They don't handle abuse very well unless you build them. So yeah, it kind of just gives you an idea. Definitely main problem was this bearing blowing up, and I'm guessing that caused this third gear synchro to blow up. And then fourth was also grinding, so that would make sense. So now we're just gonna pull these synchros apart and kind of inspect them. Also forgot to mention that this little tab or shim, whatever you want to call it, is broken. Not sure how that happened. I'm not sure if someone's definitely been in this tranny before. I could tell. I could see all the seam sealer. It's not factory. This goes in a specific way back in the other half. You can see this little tab here actually fits. Hard to see, but it fits in this groove right here. If you look, it's a big wear mark there. So this might have been installed incorrectly. You just gotta line it up with these. Make sure this lines up with that section in the other case. I don't remember if pretty sure it was put on the right way. It goes on like this. I'll have to look back in the video to see how I pulled it off, if it was switched around. Maybe that's what caused it. It goes on like this, so obviously gonna need a new one of these. Not sure how this happened though, because I haven't seen that before. But yeah, now I'm just gonna pull these synchros off, inspect them all. Alright, so got all the gears and the synchros off the input shaft. This is fifth, and then this is third and fourth. This just goes into there. So one thing you can see is this is fourth gear. The gap between synchro right here, it's got a pretty decent gap. That's normal. And then down here, you can see how close third gear is the synchros. So that indicates it's definitely worn out. All right, so this is just to show you guys like the difference between the new and the old. So as you can see, the old, it's all chipped up, destroyed, it's all grinded down. Same with the other side. As you can see, it's all worn. That's what makes the grinding noise when the synchro is trying to engage into this, and they're just grinding together because they won't line up. And then the new one, you can see it's all nice and pointy, not all grinded down. This is this. So third and fourth were both destroyed. Just third was completely blown out. It's only a matter of time before fourth did the same thing. And then, so comparing the synchros, this is the new one. It's got the carbon fiber lining in it. You can see the old one, the little teeth, they're all chipped up, kind of messed up, whereas new ones are all nice and rounded, no edges, they're not grinded down. You kind of see the notches in the teeth on the old one. The new one doesn't have that. So yeah, now we're just gonna go ahead, throw the new ones in. All right, so we went ahead and put the main shaft back in. Also went ahead and put a new seal and bearing in. Super easy, just tap the old ones out and then tap the new ones in. And now we're just gonna do the synchros. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the top section off, just like that. Set it right here. Just gonna pull this little needle bearing. This collar should come out as well. Alright, there we go. So, put that back on there. You don't really want to pull these all apart, then you won't remember how anything goes back together. Just gonna slide that. All right, so you got the 5th gear and also the reverse synchro is on this out of the way. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the 3rd and 4th gear synchros just on the shaft and the tranny, just like this. So pull the top gear off. It's got little notches, set it there. Also want to pull the needle bearing out, put it back in. And now we can just pull this sleeve, the walker off. Got a new one of that. And you kind of just go ahead and match them up. Right size, just like this. You can see this is the right one. So set it over here. Take the 4th gear out. And also take this out. It wants to come out. Just like that. And just so you guys know, this has these little things right here. The open notch right here, see how it's like a U? That faces up and the closed end faces down. And that also goes for this. This is the new one in here. You can see it's missing one. So that slides onto there. Just like that. Now we can pull a 3rd gear synchro out. Set that one over here. Alright, so this is the new synchro. This is the carbon synchros from Synchrotech. Make sure you put a new ring on as well. Comes with the kit. Just slide that down under there, just like that. Take the, actually, I'm gonna take this first. Slide this down on there. It fits into the grooves on the synchro. Kind of just spin it till it lines up. Just like that. You take your new lock thing, I don't know what they're called. You gotta line it up with with those notches I showed you guys. Alright, so once you got this on, take the 4th gear synchro. This is the new one. You can place that, make sure you got the ring on it. Line it up. Goes right in. Then you can go ahead and put the gear on. Alright, so now we got 3rd and 4th gear all done. Now we can do 5th and reverse. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and pull all this right over here. Go ahead and stick this onto the main shaft. Slide it down. And this, I believe, is the 5th gear synchro. Take that one out, get the new one. Alright, we got the new 5th gear synchro. Slide it down on there. Alright, then you can take this and the part with the edge sticking down goes down on the shaft. And you just line it up. Just like that. We can take our new synchro locking thingy. And you can just take the reverse synchro, just stick it on there, line it up, just like that. Go ahead, put this on. Alright, so pretty much finishes the main shaft. I ended up having to go ahead and order a new one of these because it's clearly broken. The little tabs are as well. This thing would focus. Also, I had ordered new shift forks because this one was rubbing, so I'm worried that this one might be bent, and rather just put new shift forks in than see if that one's end up finding out that one is bent and ruining the synchro. So alright, so this is after I finished up the training and all that. I was editing the video and I realized that the video would have been like 50 minutes long if I did one video. So this is going to be the end of the first video. I'm going to have 2 parts, so this will be the first part, and I'll have the second part posted probably tomorrow. But yeah, got an STI in the shop now. Stay tuned for that video too. New engine going into the thing. But yeah, so we're going to do 2 different parts and do that. I think that's better. That way it's not too long of a video and whatnot. But yeah, peace.